All error coins are essentially coin misprints. They are always the result of a mistake made during the manufacturing process at the mint. Error coins can be divided into three general categories. There are planchet errors. A planchet is another word for the blanks that are used to make coins. Errors in this category involve improper preparation of coin planchets that cause these errors. Examples include clip planchets that are the wrong shape, planchets that are the wrong thickness, and even planchets that are mistakenly left blank. There are also die errors. The process of minting coins involves dies that impart the lettering, numbers, and images onto the surface of the coins. One die is used for the obverse, or front or head side of the coin. The other is used for the reverse, or back or tail side of the coin. If there is an issue or flaw with either of these dies, it can lead to errors such as the doubling of a design, elements of the design, or the mismatching of two dies. The latter case results in what is known as a mule coin, and I have another video that covers all about those individually. The other category is strike errors. Striking is the step in the minting process where the design from the die is impressed onto the coin itself. Strike errors include off-center or misaligned strikes, designs struck on the wrong size planchet, and many other oddities. It is important that you note that all error coins are made at the mint. Their release into the circulation with other coins is always a mistake or oversight. This distinguishes coin misprints from coins that simply have post-mint damage, changes to the coin that happen after it leaves the mint. Such damaged coins hold no value in the collecting realm and are not considered to be error coins, of course. So how do you spot an error coin? Finding error coins in general can be pretty rare, but not impossible, of course. Keep in mind that all of these error types tend to occur in either small or large batches of coins, as the US Mint strikes coins for mass production. There are sometimes no reliable mintage estimates for coins with specific errors, so new ones of various types as well as examples of the same types of errors come up over time. You will need to keep an eye out and a lot of patience when you go through coin rolls and you're cherry picking at coin stores and gold shops when you want to spot an error coin. It's of course super important to know what you're looking for. So let's talk about a few different error coins that are worth money. Now over the years there have been many valuable error coins, so I'm not going to be able to list all of them here of course, as there's hundreds and hundreds of different ones, but these are some of the most prominent ones in the history of collecting coins that have come out of the US Mint. First there's the 1974 D aluminum Lincoln cent. This error penny is virtually unknown to the world until 2001-ish, and throughout the second half of the 20th century, the US Mint experimented with a bunch of different metals, even including glass if you didn't know that, for making coins. Ultimately, they settled on a copper-plated zinc to produce the Lincoln penny in 1982. One of the experimental compositions that was rejected was aluminum alloy. The pieces were shown to the members of Congress and subsequently destroyed, but by some mishap, roughly about 14 of these have made it into circulation. Now, crazy enough, the mint took the curious step of seizing one of the aluminum cents, deeming the coin to be government property. If another example is to be found and deemed legal to own, it would easily realize probably $1 million if it went to auction. Another great error coin is the 1937 D three-legged buffalo nickel. This one's really well known. It is a die error, and what resulted in this case is a missing limb from the buffalo on this nickel. It is among the most famous error coins to exist, and undoubtedly the key date to the entire nickel series. Despite early popularity for the coin, the buffalo nickel has really gone down in popularity over the most recent years. In 1937, the second to last year of this series, a mint employee who operated the coin presses at the Denver Mint tried to smooth down some scuffs on one of the nickel's reverse die and actually made it too smooth, resulting in the buffalo basically missing the back leg entirely. This is known as the three-legged buffalo, and these run usually around $2,500. Beat up ones can be around $200 or $300. Another great error is another die error, and that's the 1955 double die obverse Lincoln cent. Now, I do have a more in-depth video, but in short, this is one of the most iconic Lincoln cents out there from the wheat cent series, and these are really well known. So, improperly prepared dies resulted in some number of the Lincoln pennies minted in Philadelphia in 1955 to show extremely bold doubling of the date and lettering on the obverse or front of the coin. This dramatic appearance is part of what makes this DDO penny a super collectible coin and usually worth around $1,000. Another great coin is the 1922 D plain Lincoln cent, so another penny, but the 1922 that was struck at the Denver Mint resulted in a bunch of them being struck using heavily worn dies. So a result of this was many of these Lincoln cents made at this facility exhibited super dull features in what's known as a weak D mint mark. What made it even worse was the 1922 D cents. The accumulation of grease on the obverse die left a bunch of these pennies with missing design elements altogether. Most notable among them was that there was no D mint mark, so it's known as a plain or a no D Lincoln cent. These are worth between like $400 and $800 depending on condition. There's of course the 1943 and 1944 copper and steel Lincoln cents. Those are really well known, so I won't go into them really here. But they are really known errors where essentially these coins were struck in the wrong metal composition for what was supposed to be released that year. Another really curious error is the 1942/41 Mercury dimes, which is a super popular error for not only dimes, but just coins in general, or overdate errors as they're known. This die error is pretty straightforward, really. In this case, they are known as a 42/41 on a Mercury dime, and this resulted in the 1 still being visible behind the 2 of the date. This happened when changing the year date on the obverse die. The last digit of the previous year was not fully removed, and they reused the old dies. Interestingly enough, this same overdate error appears on 1942 Mercury dimes from both the Philadelphia and Denver Mint. Much like the other errors on this list, the 42/41 dimes are worth roughly $300 to $500. So they're really, really collectible, and that's even in lower condition. Now I'll end off this list with a newer coin, or semi-newer coin, which is a 2004 D extra leaf Wisconsin state quarter. Now there's 2 different varieties of this error known on this issue. These are known as the extra high leaf and the extra low leaf error. There's been quite a few of these found, so it's a really fun one to look for. The appearance of the error on the design is exactly what it sounds like. In one version, there's an extra leaf on the ear of corn that points upward, and the other version has an extra leaf that points downward. Given the timing of this error, the public was super quick to collect them, and they usually got about $300 or $400 a piece at the time, but have settled around $100 for a really good example of one. Now, there's many, many other errors you could look for that, of course, I can't list here. I just wanted to give you some examples and some things to look for, kind of break down the categories of errors so you are able to learn just a little bit more about the stuff. You can check out a lot more information about error coins, collecting gold, collecting silver, and other collectibles on my website, varietyerrors.com. I thank you so much for supporting the channel by watching this video. Consider hitting the subscribe button if you enjoyed it. I will see you guys in the comments to discuss what you guys are into as far as collecting, and I will see you in the next video.